AJ, I have a request for a song later in the show. A little bumper music.
Okay.
Do you have any Prince in the jukebox?
Let me take a look.
There better be.
Because it is Troy's birthday.
Oh, there's Prince in there.
And Troy loves
yes.
Prince.
Yes,
Yeah,
there's plenty of Prince.
We'll have some Prince later
Oh,
on.
there's not plenty of Prince.
There's a whole discography of
No,
Prince.
I have kept that to a minimum because I didn't want to overkill.
Take away the lyrics. Like, what's the best, what you like consider just instrumental score from Prince?
Oh, gosh. That's such a tough pick to try to make because of the amount of just differing things he did on multiple tracks. He basically taught himself how to do all of it, including record. I mean, he self-taught at the piano, not at the piano, but self-taught on the guitar, self-taught on drums, just absolutely nuts. So I can't say that I have one right off the top because he's done so many different variations even on his main themes.
Which one do you want, Troy? I got a bunch here.
I'll leave it up to you to make a pick.
All right. I'll probably play one that everybody knows.
Cool.
Do you have a request, Mitch?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm cool with Prince. I like Prince. I wouldn't call myself a big fan.
Mm-hmm.
I always loved it. The day he died, Brandon Phillips, who was on the Reds at the time, played Prince's walk-up music when he came up to bat the first time. So,
nice little tribute.
yeah.
Yeah.
Minnesota guy.
Minneapolis.
Yes,
Minneapolis.
sir.
Minneapolis Sound.
Didn't he own was an owner of the WNBA team, the Lynx, or something? Or was a big fan? Or?
He was a fan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a fan.
Nicole Oldie, I think, once upon a time,
Yeah.
talked about that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where I heard it from. You know, speaking of go ahead.
The funny part about that is, knowing Nicole Oldie in terms of height versus Prince's height.
Yeah, how tall was Prince?
5'9".
Oh,
and that's stretching it.
That's
and
not as short as I thought he might be.
No, that was stretching it.
Let's see here. I wanted to promote something, but I got to find the email real quick. This is just kind of on the fly, but here it is. So at halftime of this Saturday's game, K-State will be honoring those that are going into the K-State Athletics Hall of Fame class of 2024. What's cool is we're going to be able to talk with most of them on Friday. But Jacob Poland, Kevin Lockett, Nick Leckie, among others, Diana Miller, Deb Patterson is coming back. And there's Askia Jones. I don't think he's going to be here for that. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if he's going to be here Saturday either, but he's not going to be available on Friday. But it would be neat to talk to Ski Jones.
You know what, by the way, mentioning my track, I'm going to request Pop Life. Thank
Pop
you.
Life?
Yeah.
All right. That will be that'll be the go-to then. By the way, I just wanted to mention the Kelsey brothers had Adam Sandler on today to preview Happy Gilmore 2.
Oh, that would be pretty. Well, they're not going to be able to talk about much. I mean,
Right?
it's
Yeah.
the movie business. You can't.
Right.
I'm sure there's contracts that even though it's Adam Sandler, well, it is his own company. I guess he could talk about what he wants. Because I think it is his company that
it is
handles
his film, yes.
everything. They put up the money, they pay the people, the Happy Madison production or whatever it's called. And I've talked about this before. Like there's sequels that I don't want to watch, like the Dumb and Dumber sequel. The one that actually has Jim Carrey, Jeff Bridges in it. Mm-hmm. I don't want to watch it. The first Dumb and Dumber was just too good.
Right.
It was perfect. I don't want that to be soiled in any way.
Well, and as I put it yesterday in discussing it, it's going to take a lot. Scooter McGavin has got to be on point in this movie.
Hold on a second.
Shooter McGavin. Sorry.
Although Scooter McGavin sounds like a.
I was thinking earlier today about my buddy Scooter McGee, and so that's why that would cross my mind.
Well, Scooter McGavin sounds just as
sinister,
flaky,
Yeah,
I believe he's I believe there's a guy out there like a YouTuber. He's a big Cowboys fan named Scooter McGavin or Shooter McGavin. I can't remember what his name is. I'll have to look it up.
Well, Shooter, now he's getting older. Now he's Scooter McGavin.
Yeah, there you go. Right, yeah.
Okay.
And yet Bob Barker still could punch him.
Rest in peace. That's one of the tougher celebrity deaths
Yeah.
I've had to go through.
Yeah.
Bob was my guy.
So you think Drew Carey makes the cameo this time?
No.
I'm not interested if he's the guy. Price is Right just isn't what it used to be. Kids don't watch it anymore. Kids on sick days, staying home. The Price is Right isn't a part of that anymore. For us growing up, I don't know, Troy, if you could say the same thing, AJ, but I know my generation, you watched The Price is Right if you were staying home.
You watched The Price is Right. You watched Card Sharks. You watched Pyramid.
I love all those shows.
You watched Concentration or Password. And that was just before 11 o'clock.
Oh, who was the host of Card Sharks? Don't tell me. It'll come to me. I used to watch Card Sharks. I think it was Bobby Eubanks. Because I think it was the same, right? Because he did the Newlywed Game.
Is that your final guess?
I think it was Bob Eubanks.
You are correct. He was one of the hosts.
One of the hosts, yeah.
Jim Perry hosted, Bill Rafferty hosted, Pat
Bill
Millard.
Rafferty.
And
Really?
the last one was Joel McHale.
Oh, it's because they revamped. They brought it back.
Yeah,
the
they brought
revival.
it back for that brief bit on ABC.
Hey, we're giving away K-State football tickets here in roughly 10, 15 minutes-ish. Text us, 785-537-1350 if you want to be thrown in the lottery to become a contestant on KSU or UTM. If you get 2 of the 3 questions right, it's 50-50 shot at each question. You get 2 of the 3 right, you're winning the tickets. So go ahead and text CATS or a CATS GIF, something that has to do with cats, to 785-537-1350, and we will randomize a number. AJ will be calling that number during our next break.
We got some people just spamming the text messages.
I saw that. You can spam it as much as you want, but I've discovered that you can do it as much as you want. You're still just one entry.
Nice.
Yep.
So I understand. I love the strategy.
Yeah.
Spam away.
It's
It just
smart.
doesn't get you any further.
It's smart.
Now, what's really cool is I've seen these trickle in. It's cool to see the phone numbers that pop up because we'll get the phone numbers here. And it gives us an idea of where people are listening live. We've had a text from 7 different area codes. That's pretty cool. Now, I want to also make this clear. These are physical tickets. We can't just email them to you. These are physical tickets that I'm holding right now. They're the old floppy, thin paper tickets. You can hear them flopping in the wind.
Okay, Boomer.
So you either got to come pick them up here at the radio station, or we'll work something out. There's will calls that we can. There's a will call on the west side that we can leave the tickets.
You can go meet Mitch in the press box. No, you cannot. They will not let
That is
you up there.
not allowed.
Yeah.
That is a security risk.
Yeah. You cannot meet Mitch in the press
That
box.
is a clear rule. It's written on everybody's tickets.
Yep.
You have to pay to meet me. $20.
You're gonna have. You should have been out at Hy-Vee with the football guys this weekend, signing autographs.
Oh yeah, I heard that went really well. Okay, let's talk cats. Let's talk win total over under. We've been really saving this one. This is prediction number 18 of 20, with of course one tomorrow and one on Friday. Friday being our last show before kickoff. That ball goes up in the air at the Bill at 6:02 official kickoff time for the 2024 season. As Troy, as quietly as he can, close his Diet Coke bottle, here's your prediction. Win total is at 9.5, and I'm just thinking regular season. Let's not count postseason, college football playoff, Big 12 championship. Let's just think regular season. AJ, who starts today?
So
I think it's you.
Troy went first yesterday. You're going to go first.
I'm
I'll
going
go second,
first.
and then Birthday Boy goes last.
I feel like we're out of order, but that's fine. Because my answer, I think, has been pretty clear from the get-go. And I mentioned this on Bosco's Boys. This has not changed. I think a realistic finish, first of all, 12-0 is not crazy. 11-1 is not crazy. But I tend to overshoot things. I can be overconfident.
So, in other words, what you're telling me is that Mason Voth is basically your balance on Power Cat Game Day this year.
I'm okay with him being the crazy one. Everybody's got to have their roles, right? We have Zach, who's going to be the former player, the knowledgeable one.
Yep.
Give us the behind the scenes.
I am still tripping over how he gave me crap for missing that Cub question.
Tim is going to be the voice of reason.
That's your own fault.
Mason will be the loose cannon. I think we're going to have a really good mesh of personalities. I really do. But anyway, boy, that was quite the process to pick out the new hosts.
Right.
But that was not easy. I talked to a lot of people. Okay. The opponents, UT Martin at Tulane, hosting Arizona, at BYU, hosting Oklahoma State. You're at Colorado. You're at West Virginia back-to-back weeks with Colorado and West Virginia. Hosting KU, at Houston, hosting Arizona State, hosting Cincinnati, and then finishing up at Iowa State. I am a 10-2 guy, so I'm taking the over. I land on 10-2. I see K-State going undefeated in the non-con, going undefeated at home, and it's been a while since that's happened. On the road is where things get tricky. You have some weird road trips. I mean, you're playing at altitude in two games, and you're going all different times. I mean, the travel it's going to get crazier. BYU, Colorado, West Virginia. I think West Virginia is going to be a really tough win to get. It's certainly possible, but it's going to be a grind. I think as we've heard from guests in the last couple of weeks, I'm definitely higher on West Virginia than most. I think Garrett Green is an underrated quarterback. I see West Virginia having a three-headed monster in that running game, and the defense should be pretty good. The other loss to me is at Iowa State, for whatever reason. A road trip to Ames in the last game just feels like a tough one. Who knows what it's going to be up there? Hell, last year we had snow here at the Bill. How about a tornado snowstorm?
Oh, geez.
You never know with that weather up in Ames, Iowa. Things just can get weird. So I'm throwing that out there as a possibility, but I think 10-2 is super realistic. You never know when an upset might take place. You know, game in and game out, things can get weird. But maybe a loss at West Virginia, maybe a loss at Iowa State. That's just my gut feeling right now. I hope it doesn't happen, but I'm leaning on 10-2.
I again continue to hold that 3-game stretch. West Virginia, Colorado, Kansas. That stretch, actually, Colorado, West Virginia, Kansas, to get the correct order. Because of the fact that it is Mountain, Eastern, and then it's KU. That stretch to me is still the point of the season that is the most worrisome to me. Just because of the caliber of the middle team in that mix. And we'll wait and see what the bookend looks like on Kansas. Colorado at this point, I'm not all that dramatically worried about. It's more the travel to West Virginia the week after being in Boulder that has me concerned. But I'm with you that it's an over. And I have that feeling that 10-2 is the number. But I could very easily be sold on 11-1. That's how good this team can be. Can be. There's going to be hiccups, but with as wide open as what this conference looks like it may be in terms of opportunities, what the offenses are going to look like, what the defenses are going to look like, it's going to be fun football. Something that the Big Ten cannot say. That's my thought.
I asked DY earlier, I was like, based on schedules, I mean, heck, Nebraska can outwin Oklahoma and Colorado. That was the comparison. These four.
Right.
Well, now Colorado's back in the Big 12, but these border schools that all have variations of schedules. I think Colorado's the second toughest. Nebraska's is really soft. Mm-hmm. I mean, that is Nebraska should have their best season in a long time with a true freshman quarterback.
Matt Rule is questioning why he couldn't do this in the NFL, get a schedule like that.
What do you think, AJ? 9.5 regular season.
See, I'm not as
You're feeling under, aren't you?
I'm not an overly optimistic guy because I know how tough the Big 12 can be. I mean, I've made the comment before. Kleiman says it constantly. It's a 1-week schedule every single week in this conference.
Oh, he's giving us coach talk.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
I got them sitting at 9-3. I think the losses could come to Oklahoma State. I think they could lose at West Virginia, and I think they could lose in Ames at Iowa State. I think it's going to be very tough to go unbeaten in the conference schedule. I also get concerned about the KU game in late October. I'm not saying they're going to lose that game, but as KU gets progressively better and they continue to build up their program into where they're a top 25 program, you have that thought in the back of your head, could this be the year the streak ends? So I'm going to have K-State right at 9 wins. You could make the argument for 10-2. You could make the argument for 11-1. If this team wants it, they could go 11-1. I think there's too much talent on this team. I think they have enough talent on this team to go 11-1. But right now I'm going to sit at 9-3.
Avery Johnson's legacy will not have a loss to KU in it.
Boy, I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
I definitely don't see this being the year.
Okay.
Next year, if it happens, it's going to be, which, I just expect it to never happen. It's just for the rest of my life, it's going to be nothing but dubs for K-State in the Sunflower Showdown. If it happens, it's got to happen in Lawrence.
I mean, you made the comment the other day that once that loss happens to KU, that's going to be the legacy, unfortunately, of that K-State team.
Well, it's going to be for it's going to be for that season.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Like, okay, 10-2.
Yeah.
Great.
You lost to KU, though.
If you lose to KU for one of those losses, if you're not in that Big 12 championship game, the season is done. It's done.
Well, let's say – sorry, go ahead.
It just yeah, it's going to suck. I mean,
right.
The longer this streak goes, the more it's going to hurt. You know? But it will happen at some point. I mean, ask KU fans how it felt to lose in Bramlage back in 2008. Devastating.
And that was a national championship team.
Yeah. The thing is, though, they saved their season. They won the whole thing, thanks to Mario Chalmers with that shot send the game to overtime. But I remember seeing KU fans at school the next day, and they were zombies.
Oh, yeah.
But they also knew they were going to hear it from me.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, but anyway, that's a discussion.
Jeez, that was 16 years
We'll
ago.
save that for KU week, I guess. That's coming up on October 26th. Let's take a break. Hey, I'm about to send AJ a phone number. We're gonna randomize it right now. I'm gonna hit the buttons. Beep boop beep boop.
How
those are
dare
real sound
you
effects.
catfish him about a woman right there? No, do not send him. Oh, anyway, sorry. Send him a phone number. Yeah, catfishing him.
AJ, have you ever been catfished?
Hell no. Hell no.
Are you on any dating apps?
Hell no.
Good for you. Old fashioned.
My dating life
over
is
there.
none of this audience's business.
Dude, you're in radio. You want some good radio. You
Right.
talk about your dating life.
Yeah, no.
Okay. We're gonna randomize it. There's a button I gotta click. You don't get the cool sound effects, but I'm gonna send AJ a number. If you pick up, you're playing KSU versus UTM. If you don't pick up, you get one chance to pick up. We're going to the next number. That's how it works. The first person to pick up their phone has a chance to win 2 tickets for Saturday's game against UT Martin and KSU versus UTM. K-State football ticket giveaway is coming up next as you're listening to the game.
Miss any of the show?
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Never fear, sports fan. Check out the Game podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and newsradiokman.com.
What's this song called again, Troy?
Pop Life.
Pop Life.
What's the matter with your nose?
Troy loves Prince. Well, today's Troy's birthday, so he gets what he wants.
What's on the plans tonight?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Someone had a couple of health appointments today, so she's probably going to be on the down low given everything.
Oh, gotcha. Any plans this weekend besides K-State?
Still waiting to see what plays out. Soccer has got a Sunday afternoon match.
Yeah.
That I'll be out at.
I'll be there too.
But I don't know yet whether I'll try to sneak up to Seneca. Monica's going to be up there. They have their annual, the church there has its annual Labor Day picnic on Sunday night. And so Monica's actually headed up on Friday because the kitchen at my mother-in-law's place turns into the cake factory.
Ooh. I might have to go up now. I'm kidding.
And they do a ton of cakes for the cakewalk.
I wish I was invited.
So, yeah. I mean, granted, I get to celebrate a little early. There are cupcakes at home.
All right, standing by. We had to go to a second number. We had one person lined up, and then they just disappeared. So, by somebody's luck, we go to a second line. This is a familiar name. I don't know how they got through. We got over like 70 texts.
No, Mason, we can't let it win.
Not Mason.
No. Oh, okay.
No, he can't win squat.
It's not Michael, the god of Stump the Shaw.
No.
You're just hopeful that it's not.
Ron from Manhattan. Ron, you ready to play a little game for some tickets?
You bet.
All right, Ron. Welcome to the show. What are you up to today?
Just getting ready for a big weekend.
Yeah, same here. You going to tailgate or what's the plan?
Ahern Fund and family reunion on Sunday.
How many are you expecting for the family reunion?
About 40.
That's not too bad.
It's good reunion.
Big family. All right. So the game is KSU or UTM. UTM stands for UT Martin. These questions are pretty simple. You get a 50-50 shot at answering correctly. You get 2 of the 3 questions correctly, and you're winning the tickets. Sound pretty simple, Ron?
Well, yeah.
All right. Ron sounding like a robot all of a sudden, but let's see if the phone line corrects itself, and let's get to question number 1. Ron, here's your first question. I don't have the cool music like I do for Stump the Shaw. Ron, which football program has won the most conference championships in its history? Is it KSU or UTM?
Probably UTM.
All right, he's thinking UTM. What are we all thinking around here?
Say that's probably a pretty solid guess.
It's a good guess.
Good guess.
If the Shaw doesn't know, maybe he got it right.
Let's find out. Is it UTM? No, it is
Really?
not. K-State has 7. UTM was 6.
Oh, my.
It's close. It's close. But UTM has actually won 3 conference championships in a row. The last 3 seasons, they've won 3 in a row. All right, Ron, we got to bounce back here. We got to bounce back, or else we go to another number. Here's question number 2. Which football program plays in the town with the larger population? So you have Manhattan, Kansas versus Martin, Tennessee. Martin, Tennessee out in the middle of nowhere. I had to Google map it earlier to see where it's at, and I think Nashville's like 3 hours away. And then you have Manhattan, Kansas. Which is the bigger population? Is it KSU or UTM?
Well, I guess KSU, but I bet you I'm wrong.
All right, let's go. Let's see. Let's check here. Is it KSU? Yes, it is. Manhattan, Kansas, 53,829 back in the 2022 number.
Census.
Martin, Tennessee. I don't know if it was a census, some other source, whatever. Martin, Tennessee, 10,894. It's a much smaller town. They have to go to another town just to fly out here to Manhattan, Kansas. Sometimes they got to go all the way to Nashville. It's 3 hours away for a flight. It's crazy. All right, one more question to win the tickets. Here's the big one, Ron. You got to get this right to win the tickets. KSU or UTM, which team before their current mascot was called the Pacers?
UTM.
UTM, are we sure?
Yeah.
All right. I hear somebody helping in the background. Who's helping you?
My wife's a football fan, so.
All right. For the tickets, on us to go to the game, is it UTM? Yes, it is. They were the Pacers up until about 30 years ago. And then they became the Skyhawks. Now they got this really cool bird mascot that we'll see at Bill Center Family Stadium this Saturday. Ron, congratulations. You get 2 tickets to the game on Saturday. How's it feel?
Sounds great.
Are you taking
I was looking for some.
Okay, so I take it your wife is going to take the other ticket.
Got a daughter-in-law coming to town.
All right, right on. Are we born and bred K-State fans?
Oh, you bet.
All right, right on. Well, Ron,
I grew up in Riley County all my life. I've been gone for quite a while, but we came back to retire.
What did you do? What'd you do for a living, Ron?
Oh, lots of things, but electrical automation sales mostly.
Right on. That's so cool. Well, again, congratulations. Hang on the line. AJ's going to pick up. He's going to get a little bit of information from you. Will you be able to come by the station and pick up the tickets?
Sure.
All right. Very cool. All right. Congratulations, Ron. AJ's going to now pick up the phone, and congratulations on winning the game.
Okay.
All right. That's Ron from Manhattan. He's the winner of 2 tickets, UT Martin against K-State. Now, stay tuned because I have a good feeling we might just happen to maybe not this game, maybe for this game, maybe for games down the road. We are going to have more K-State football tickets to give away because remember, these games are going to sell out. We're going to have 6 sellouts this year. It's going to happen. UT Martin is standing room only. Mm-hmm. We just happen once in a while to have a couple of pairs potentially to give away. You never know what's going to happen on the show, but I'm also stalling so AJ can talk to Ron before we send this thing to break and talk a little Big 12. And are they going to have a relationship and a more conference realignment with UConn on the horizon? By the way, on tomorrow's show, we're going to speak with the voice of the Skyhawks, the lead play-by-play voice for Skyhawk Sports, and that's Davis Gregory, who is one of the youngest play-by-play voices out there in college football. So we're going to get his 2 cents on the Skyhawks on tomorrow's show, plus the return of Curry Sexton, Wildcat NIL attorney. He's a big reason why K-State is flush with cash, and we'll check in with Curry tomorrow at 5:10. We're all squared away with Ron?
Yes, sir.
Right,
He's going to come on down to the station.
All right, let's take a break. More of the game coming up next.
Your home for K-State sports.
Takes it down the left sideline, wants Terry. Terry's got it. Headed for the end zone. K-State leads it.
This is The Game on News Radio, KMAN.
All right, more Prince brings us back. Once again, congratulations to Ron from Manhattan winning a couple of tickets for Saturday's game against UT Martin. It is going to be, when it comes to tickets on sale, it's standing room only right now, and all the games are going to sell out for sure. So congrats to Ron and his wife, or actually taking a daughter-in-law, right? Is that what he said? Mm-hmm. To the game. So congratulations to Ron. And as soon as we get more tickets that land on our desk, we're giving them away. That's a guarantee here on the game. We'll continue to use the text line. And I once again just want to bring that up for just a moment because I love this text line. I think it's a lot easier to get the listeners involved than just doing phone calls. A lot of phone calls come in, but they don't want to come on air.
Right.
I think this is able to get more people involved. We could just easily say, hey, what do you think? Cats, 9.5 wins over under. Just text us. Yeah, let us know your opinions. Anytime, any place, anywhere. Let us know your opinions. The text line is 785-537-1350. I always like to hear what other people have to say, just sharing their thoughts or having a question about the Cats or what's ever on your mind.
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
So Megaphone that we use to upload our podcast, it's taken now 40 minutes for the first hour to process audio.
So we're having some issues uploading the first hour?
Yeah, so if anybody likes to listen to the first hour of the podcast, sorry, Megaphone wants to be annoying today.
Hopefully it'll buff itself out, and we'll get that up as soon as possible because we have a second hour to upload here in just a second. All right, so this next story I want to bring up is just something we haven't been able to get to yet. We've had some short shows Monday and Tuesday, and I've had so much on my plate. To be honest, I've not been keeping up with this. It's more conference realignments, my least favorite thing to talk about, especially this day and age, and it's UConn in talks with the Big 12. I know UConn made their pitch to the Big 12 about why they should be a member. I know there's a lot of people out there that aren't fans of UConn joining because it may hurt the Big 12 image when it comes to football. Basketball is definitely a different story. We know Brett Yormark has goals in mind for basketball. He sees college basketball as undervalued, and that the Big 12 can potentially become the first basketball-only grant of rights deal for a power conference. I would assume Fox wouldn't be too happy about this because Fox just re-upped with the Big East on a media rights deal. And I believe football would not become, like, they wouldn't be getting money from the Big 12 or, like, I don't think that starts until 2031 or something like that if it were to happen. The thing is that UConn would have to give the Big East a sizable heads up. I think it's 27 months. They would have to give a heads up to the Big East that they are leaving. I know, Troy, you've been really looking into this. What do you know about the talks between the Big 12 and UConn about UConn potentially making a move in the near future?
Dennis Dodd at CBS reported yesterday that this is at a point where the necessary 12 to vote in favor of UConn is a ways away. It is a requirement that 12 of the 16 schools will have to approve, and right now, presidents, only 6 of them are apparently in support of this, just in a straw poll. So 6 of the necessary 12 for UConn to be a part of this package. And as I look at the map, I continue to question this because you're going to add a school that is north of New York to an East Coast that already is a bit on the sprawling side in West Virginia and UCF. And you throw in Cincinnati for good measure. You're going to give BYU one heck of a road trip.
Arizona State. I mean, that's literally across the country.
Yeah, I'm thinking of UCLA having to play at Rutgers type of. But you're right. On the basketball front, and this is why both men's and women's basketball.
Yeah.
Plus, they've been okay in baseball. We talked about that this year when K-State played up there.
I think UConn was a super regional team, maybe. I think.
At least a regional team.
Yes.
That had been previously. Yeah. And so, you know, there's that that's at play in this conversation, not so much as basketball. But really what this comes down to, I think, is that Brett Yormark apparently feels that this is one of the biggest pieces on the board to be able to go get. Much like the dalliance with Gonzaga has been, except that in this case you also are tacking on football. And the one flaw with that is that football, from the moment that they've gone from FCS to FBS, has for the most part struggled. There was that one stretch where they had a bit of success. Really hate to say it, say the name, Dan Orlovsky. That was when they had success. But beyond that, it's been very limited for UConn football at the FBS level. And I don't know that they've got the resources to be able to keep up with the rest of the Big 12 on the football side.
UConn is starting to, this was just recently reported that UConn is trying to really pour more money into football. They're so far behind in football, and they're an independent.
Correct. Yeah, because nobody would take them at this point. Yeah. The one that would make sense is the MAC, and because you have Buffalo involved in that conference, but they don't even want UConn for the moment when it comes to football. Probably because, as much as anything, they don't want the football-only membership.
Boy, I'm just not excited to talk about conference realignment, and we are 3 days out from K-State football.
And that's to me part of the issue with this at all is, why is this even a discussion right this moment? What has...
Yeah, is UConn aware that football season is underway? I know they have 10 people that go to their games, but...
What is prompting this to be on the table in this moment?
The timing's interesting because Brett Yormark, since day one, has been interested in UConn becoming a member. it's interesting that it's now happening over 2 years later after, a couple of off and on signals from Gonzaga that maybe that was going to become a thing, and now that's been tabled, and it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Now UConn is back in the picture. Maybe it's a Gonzaga thing that falling through.
One of the things
as a basketball only.
One of the things, according to Sportico, that is an issue as well. UConn happens to be one of the most subsidized programs in the country in terms of subsidized by the university financially. When we talk about K-State being self-sufficient, UConn would be the 180-degree opposite. That would make it a very problematic move, I think. Even I know UCF was a concern with the amount of subsidy that they get from their university athletically. That was a concern when they were brought in. UConn financially is going to have a lot of headaches if they're going to put themselves into this conference. It's going to be a heck of a fight. Plus, on top of it, and here's the one aspect that really just makes you scratch your head. Big East contract says 27 months. You wouldn't get UConn football until 2031.
Right.
What good? Why now?
Well, if you're the Big 12, do you care about UConn football? This is a purely basketball thing.
It has to be.
What money is the UConn going to draw in football for the Big 12?
And then on top of that, then it becomes to me, is this a New York play? Is this a play to try to draw eyeballs in Media Market 1?
I can tell you, New York doesn't give a damn about UConn football.
True, again, but basketball is
basketball's a different story, yeah, for sure.
Right, and that's where we always have to remember, because it is easy to talk about all of the moves that have been made with Brett Yormark as commissioner in the Big 12, but the basketball process for him is always one of the forefront things because that's where he came from. He is a basketball guy, first and foremost, with what he was doing with the Nets and what he was doing with Jay-Z's agency.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll try to keep up with this one. It's obviously very interesting, but again, I'm already kind of sick of the mega conferences, and we've barely dipped our toe in it.
Let's play some ball. Let's play some ball.
Okay, so we have ball coming up Saturday. KU actually plays tomorrow. We're actually going to do a two-parter of Mitch in Vegas Week 1, Thursday and Friday, but we got to wrap up the show. Very quick break. Ask Us Anything, hosted by AJ when we come back.
You're in the game on News Radio KMAN.
This is the game on News Radio KMAN. AJ Shaw joined by the birthday boy himself, Troy Coverdale, and Mitch Fortner, whose birthday was 13 days ago. Nobody else has a birthday in the near future on this show, just to point that out. So,
for those that may have forgot, AJ was born on September 11th, 2001.
Yeah. Question today is, what was the biggest reach you ever made to try to get someone on the show for an interview? Or just an interview in general?
Barack Obama, the President of the United States, back in 2014.
Wait, what?
2014, because it would have been, he would put out the bracket.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, well, why not? Let's reach out to the president. He likes basketball. See if we can talk basketball with the president. It's like, we just need 5 minutes.
Oh, boy.
Because I think he had, I can't remember what it was, but maybe 13, I can't remember. It was somewhere around there. I just started on the show.
That was interesting. I don't think mine will top that. I tried to get a hold of the Northwestern soccer coach when I was in high school.
That's not a reach.
To me, that's a reach. When I was in high school, it was. I still think it's a reach.
Almost got Scott Stapp on the show. I've told this story many times, but Scott Stapp, the lead singer of Creed, I was going to surprise John Kurtz on his birthday because we are really in a Creed phase, and we are playing Creed higher every Friday.
Thank God we've played some Prince today to take us away from Nickelback and Creed.
And I'd reached out 2 weeks prior, and for a week and a half, it was a done deal. We knew the time. We knew we were going to have him on Zoom or whatever. This was going to be a thing that happened. And then the day before, he's going to have to cancel. I'm sorry. Oh, it was a shot in the gut. It really was. That was going to be a big deal. It was going to be a big interview.
That would have killed me, man.
I still wasn't convinced he was actually busy or had something going on. Just didn't want to do it last minute. But, man, string us along like that.
One of my former coworkers was stellar at getting names. For example, leading into the NFL draft the year that he was coming out of Maryland, Vernon Davis. I mean, he was good about getting those types of guys. Biggest shot I took was trying to get Keith Jackson on to talk about college football. That one got shot down in relatively quick fashion, unfortunately, by ABC PR.
What year was that?
That would have been in 03.
Oh, so he's kind of on his way out at that point.
Yeah. But I didn't care because it's not about where he's at in his career other than we're talking about some of the best games of all time because that voice, remains so great.
Yeah, mine was kind of lame. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, yes, in high school, trying to get a soccer coach on Chicago, I get it. We'll come up with a guest idea and see if you can reach out to him, and we'll change that story for you.
Yeah, let's what's her face Kamala Harris wins, we'll get Tim Walz on to talk football.
That might actually work.
Coach Walz, right? Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up for AJ, Troy. I'm Mitch. Back for a full 2 tomorrow. Go Cats.